Hi everyone, I thought I'd come outside for a change. As we're trying to save a little bit of money during these hard times, I was trying to think of alternative ways that we could do to actually sort of power up both our modern and our vintage transistor radios. Typically we've got this CS106 here. This is a decent little shortwave receiver, and this takes two AA batteries. Now that's all well and good, but the problem is, obviously with these AA batteries, once you've used them, if you're just using single use ones, then you have to throw them away, which is no good for the environment and not really good for your pocket neither. Now you could use rechargeable batteries, but the lower voltage you get from using those, sometimes you don't always get the best performance for your radio. So what else can we do that'll actually sort of save ourselves just that little bit of extra money? Well, one method is in fact to employ a little solar panel. I've got this off AliExpress. It costs less than sort of $10, but this has got a little USB connector on the end, which is really useful. So a lot of these modern radios have got a USB connector. So what we can actually do is connect up the USB connector that comes with the radio, plug it into the solar cell, and see if we can actually get it to work. Now this is quite a dull day today, so it might not be generating much in the way of a voltage, but let's just see what we can actually do on this. So make sure we've got it popped on. Let's switch it on.
Of also guessing how much 4 euros, i.e. one toasty, was worth in the old currency at the time of the changeover. So in 2000...
Now that's not bad considering it's a dull day. This only gives a few milliamps output, and they do different sizes. This is probably the smallest that they do. So if you want something a bit more on, just sort of buy a slightly sort of bigger panel. So let's try a different one to pair it up. Let's try this Reticus. Now this Reticus has actually got a built-in battery. So what you can actually do, you can power it off the mains and recharge it via the USB sort of standard plug. But what you could do is actually charge this up with the solar cell. So let's pop it in. It'll get the right way around. And there you go, look, we're actually powering up the battery or recharging that battery with this little solar cell. Now you could just leave that on your kitchen windowsill and just let it charge up all day, and then you could actually use this in the evening if you want to, but you're not actually utilising any mains electricity, and you're not using disposable batteries as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is have a look at another set and see if we get the same result. Okay, so what I've got here, this is the BH1520BT. Done a review on it if you want to have a look at that. It's actually a decent shortwave radio. Just going to pop it on. Now that's working really well, just off a little solar cell that, to be honest, is just on a fairly sort of dull day. So this is a really useful way of finding alternative ways for powering your radios. Now you can ask me, how can we power up our radios in the evening when we're just utilising a solar cell in the day? Well, one of the things you could do, if it does take AA batteries, is to use a little battery charger that's actually got a USB connection on it. So if I pop this into the USB port, you can probably just about see it's difficult to do because again this is quite a dull sort of day, but you've got two batteries there that are actually sort of charging up. Now I would put two on this as a maximum for this little solar cell, but if you've got a bigger one, then again I would just leave that on the kitchen windowsill perhaps and just let it charge up all day, pop it in radio, and then you can use it on night. But then there is another way as well, so I'm going to have a look at that now. Another alternative is to utilise this. This is a little power bank, and it's primarily utilised for recharging mobile phones, but there's no reason why you couldn't use it on your radios as well. It's got a small little USB connection there and then a standard one there. So all I'm going to do is just connect our standard small USB connector, I should say, pop that into our little solar cell, and hopefully, as you can see there, got a couple of little blue LEDs indicating that it's actually charging even on this sort of dull day. So when this is charged up, simply just disconnect it, connect our mobile phone, connect up onto the standard USB there, pop it into the side of our radio, pop it on, and there we go.
But also with your herbs, so treat it just as you would do flowers.
Again, an alternative way of looking at things. So what about vintage transistor radios, I hear you say, such as this Bosch TR230? How do you find alternative ways of powering this up? Well, these take normally PP9 batteries, and they're only usually available in single use. So once you've used them, you have to throw them away. So not good for your wallet and not very good for the environment. I have seen occasionally rechargeable versions of PP9 batteries, but they're very expensive and very difficult to find. So there is one alternative, and that is to make your own. What I've made is a rechargeable AA to PP9 battery converter. There's a little video on my channel if you want to pop across there and have a look at it, and simply just made up a little wiring loop to go between the PP3 connector on that to the standard PP9 connector on your radio. And then simply all we do when we need to sort of recharge those batteries, utilize again this simple USB battery recharger, and then just plug it into our solar cell, let them charge up, and away you go. Incidentally, Big Clive, if you're a fan of Big Clive, he's done a review on this. He didn't rate it very much, but to be honest, it's only a few dollars from China, and because we're only utilising it with a solar cell, there should be no problems there at all. Anyway, there you go, just a few ideas, and hopefully fun ideas to find alternative ways of powering up your radios. Hopefully you found this interesting. If you did, then please pop across my channel. There's plenty more videos there on both vintage and modern radios. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.